Hello, this is Matt Skolnick from Muskingum Valley Presbytery. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Today I'm going to introduce the first theme of Matthew 11. And if you remember correctly, Matthew 11 is the how, but we even have to back up just a step further to the what, which is Matthew 25. As a national church, we are looking at three major initiatives. The first is we're trying to develop and build up our congregations so that they are vital. Number two, we're looking at issues of racism. And number three, we're looking at issues of poverty. Now, if that is the what, Matthew 11, as I've said before, is the how. In Matthew 11, Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and who are carrying heavy burdens." And so as we approach these issues, the mindset that we have is how can we lift burdens? How can we help one another and the world around us live into this call in a way that is not burdensome? And so to do this, Matthew 11 has 6 themes that we are working with. The first theme of Matthew 11 is something that is essential for all healthy communities, especially congregations. And that theme is to develop legitimate and mutual vulnerability in the congregation. So I know that some of you are going to need a little bit of convincing in this matter. You might be asking yourself, why is it so important that our church, that our congregation learns to be mutually vulnerable? Well, here are 4 reasons why this aspect of your community life is so essential and so important. Number 1, it builds trust. Think of somebody whom you know who served in the military. Serving in the military is a mutually vulnerable environment. Yet if you talk to people who have served in the military, or if you think back on your own service, it is those communities, those relationships that are surrounded by mutual vulnerability that build trust. Trust is essential to a congregation. Mutual vulnerability helps you get there. The second reason why mutual vulnerability is so important is because it also builds cooperation. Think about a time of a natural disaster, perhaps a hurricane or a flood. What do neighbors do? What do fellow citizens do? They help one another out. It is during times when everybody is vulnerable that we actually help and care for one another better. In fact, when we feel that we are not vulnerable at all, is at those moments that we are at the greatest danger to not cooperate with others. Number 3, because a congregation who practices mutual vulnerability has developed trust and cooperation, it also invites a sense of comfort for people. People are comforted when they know that they can safely be vulnerable with their faith family. And number 4, bring it back to Matthew 25. If those 3 things are important to you, one of the best places to start is to create a safe and welcoming place where everybody has something to contribute, where everybody has a place at the table. And when you have that basic framework, then you can start working on those more complex issues. Those issues that have divided our country, those issues that in some cases have divided our churches, and those issues that have broken relationship, sometimes between pastor and congregation.